Hello from the right channel. The right channel should be saying hello. No, I'm just messing with you. It's really the left channel. Something people ask me about recently is putting more dummies in a car. Just to show you basically how one dummy would go in a car. You more or less have to take the car that you want. In this case, this is the van. And you have to take the model, in this case Shaggy, and situate him so that he's in the van. Not even to get into making him a full ragdoll, but just to use him as a solid object, kind of like the Stig dummy. Um, what you would do, you'd have to make something simple. Well, this is the way I did it. I just made a mesh cube like this. Now let's hide him for a moment, and let's just take this mesh cube. I'll make it another color so it's a little easier to see it. Okay. Basically what I did was kind of situate the cube kind of like where the center of mass would be for somebody sitting. Roughly like right there, I would think. Now in Blender, these vertices here are called vertices. If you're making a mod and you're making a Jbeam, for example, these would be nodes. And these edges of this mesh would be the beams that give it the support. And of course, the triangles would be the collision mesh, what collides with other things. Well, it is actually what collides with other things. From what I read, if a node touches a triangle, then it does the calculation or something crazy something. I don't know how to explain it. So what you have to do is you got to basically make this a mod, and and you'd want it to be reinforced. So what I would use is the Jbeam exporter for Blender, where you select all these items here. I'll make it transparent so you can see. Basically, you could just pick these nodes and hit F to draw lines in between them to make more beams. That's hard to see. Like so. Which this will work too. You can do it this way. But it's time consuming. Where you could just select them all and go up to Mesh, Jbeam Nodes Connector, and that'll connect them all for you. And it'll also reinforce the sides. So once you got this, then you would triangulate the faces, and then you'd have to get the vehicle loaded in the game, and you'd have to know where its nodes are going to be, because what you're going to basically do, let me select both of these, turn this X-ray off. What you're going to do more or less in the Jbeam file, with the aid of, you'll see these in the game. It's not like you're guessing which one is which. You're going to see them, and they're going to have numbers. In fact, like the ones for this box, you could tell all them nodes to start with a letter capital A, and you'll know, oh, A, L1, A, L2, A, will all be numbered. You'll know where they are, and these will have numbers too. All the nodes, for not just this part of the car, but for the seats. Steering wheel don't actually have any nodes. That's just like a solid DAE mesh that it doesn't connect to anything. Like, you don't connect to it actually. But anyway, so you basically, in the Jbeam file, you would be connecting. It's not going to let me do this unless I combine them. I'm just trying to do this to illustrate how this would work. So Let me join these. Alright, so back in edit mode. So you're going to basically, the way I did like that cop driver, the Spider-Man, I basically just picked two nodes and I connected them like this. So you can see how the box is going to, depending on where a node's available, you may have to pick one up here. You know, this is more or less how I connected the thing. And it kind of gives you an idea why the box kind of sways, and it makes the mesh of, well, in this case, Shaggy. He would be swaying around doing whatever the box is doing. But you could connect more points to make it more secure, so he's not flip-flopping all around in there. I thought it was kind of funny, so I left it. I left it on purpose to look funny. But anyway, you see how you could take and connect all these. That would basically secure this thing, and as you're driving along, this stays in the cab, and you do have the option to make these so that they can brake, which would allow for the person to be ejected if you got a car that doesn't have a roof. Alright, so how would you do two people? Well, same thing you did here. But, well, I can't go back enough apparently. There we go. Nope. You'd have to have another box over here, basically. So if I load one of these car drivers, which I don't have any in here now, let me show you how you would have to go about this. So in the games install folder, Steam library, Steam apps, common, Beam, NG drive. I don't know the name of that new sports car, but I like it. The one that can break in half. Content, vehicles, and find the vehicle that you want to put it in. That's not a vehicle, that's a level. Vehicles. Let's see if I can figure out which one it is. I can look at the pictures in there and kind of get an idea. Oh, that's not a damn car. That's a damn pole. Oh, shit. That's what I don't know. I don't know what the hell, which one's which. Wendover? What's a Wendover? Maybe this is it. Now y'all probably wondering, damn, you making mods for this game? You don't even know the damn cars. No, actually, I don't. Let's just do this one, because I don't want to be here all day looking for the damn thing. I don't know which one it is. So basically, this Wendover, you see how I went through all the zips to get to the very last folder that says Wendover. So that you open it, you see all the stuff in, all the goodies in here. I'm just going to extract just that to the desktop. I can't believe the developer car has a error on compressing. I don't know, maybe it says Windows compressor. I see that often. Even things I make, I get that error when I unzip and repack things. I don't know what causes it. But now that we got that unzipped, Wendover, we're going to go into the vehicles folder. And basically any car you put in here is going to override whatever's in the game. And if you screw it up, you just delete the folder and it'll revert back to whatever's in the install. So we'll move that there. Then we'll open it up. There's probably going to be a CDAE, which is a cached version of the damn car. Delete those, because they'll interfere with your progress. Now there's the DAE for the Wendover. Inside of here, Blender, I'll start a new Blender. because I'm going to import it in here. You don't want to ever import two DAEs in here without making a new file. It just causes problems because it'll start making things that are repeats. They'll start getting a .001, .002, and it'll mess up your textures. Depending on what you're making, it can be a problem sometimes. I just make sure I always start a new file if I import a DAE to avoid that. So here in the vehicles, Wendover, you should see the DAE. When this loads, it's going to load everything for that car. Every make and model all in one spot. Like, I mean, you start deleting doors, and you see more doors or more body parts or whatnot. But you don't need all this. The only thing you need is just the inside of the car to give you an idea where the little fella's going to sit at. So I'll just delete all this stuff, except for mostly the seat and the steering wheel. I'll just get rid of everything. Because this is exactly where you're going to want your little fella to spawn at. Alright, well, I'll save this on the desktop as it is. I'll just rename this to something else. That way if we have to reload it, we don't have to go through and redo all that again. So now let's import in the model that we're going to put in the car. Now somebody asked me about Mario, so I got to go to Sketchfab and get him. I mean, I had him, I don't know what I did with him. I think that's the one that I got the first time. Pretty sure. Let's go to download 3D model. Oh, goody goody. There's an OBJ. I don't got a fool with converting anything. OBJs I like Blender files better. But when you download these things, a lot of times there'll be a zip. You have to extract all. Then there'll be a source, and you have to extract that too. That's like the textures and the OBJ are all there. I'm just going to move this folder onto the desktop. I don't like to have to navigate into like 5,000 folders to look for things. So now that he's there, let's load him in here. Import OBJ. Mario, where are you at? No, big old son of a bitch right there. If you go to texturing, you probably won't see a texture. You may. Well, actually you do on this. Surprise. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you gotta remake the textures, but in this case, it worked just fine. So now what I'm doing is just scaling him down. Getting him down to a size that he would be if he was driving that car. He is kind of like a vertically challenged individual, I would say. Now this part here, let me hide these for now, these car parts, because what we got to do is we got to make him look like he's sitting down. Right now he ain't. Let's set his origin to the 3D cursor, and then geometry to origin. Now this part here, add armature, basic human meta rig. Now what I'm going to attempt to do is scale him. Oh yeah, these bones here, if you pick the little running man, when the bones are selected, you can say viewport, say in front. That way it'll show you them through the object. See, what I'm going to attempt to do is probably not going to work with him. I don't think it's going to work with him. Let me reset the origin of him to the 3D cursor. Let me put him back where he just was, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, let's try it. We'll pick him. We'll hold shift, pick the bones, right click, parent with automatic weights. Make sure I did that right. I don't think I did. I think it's the other way. Hell yeah. So undo, redo. It's bones to body, right click, parent with automatic weights. Now, should be, if I pick the bones now, go to pose mode, I should be able to move the bones. It should rotate the body, but it ain't. So what the hell? Let's try it again. Maybe. Gotta clear the parent. Fuck, move that damn. Oh, shit. I don't think he's gonna be friendly to move. I don't think he's gonna follow these bones. I always get the damn bones backwards when I do the parenting. I always forget which one is the damn. I thought it was hold shift when picking him, select bones, parent with automatic weights. Clear the parent again. That's not right. Pick the bones, pick him, parent, automatic weights. Hot dog, man. This shit's. That shit ain't doing right. Something's fucked up. What's messed up, man? I don't know. Remember Lurch from the Addams Family? He was when he got disgruntled. That's the sound effect I'm making in my head. This bastard don't want to do right. I'm doing something wrong. I ain't thinking. I got too many things on my mind. That shit ain't gonna work in a million years. I very seriously doubt. Let me set both their origins and try this shit again. Alright, you bastard. Clear the parent. I thought you picked the object, then you pick the bone, and you say that's what the parent is. Yeah, that is right. Okay. Well, it's probably not going to be perfect. Look at me. We're trying to, you're trying to get all this to basically, fit that. That doesn't fit. So what can you expect? Well, he's such a little guy. That's just probably how he's going to be right there. That's just, oh, yeah. You can turn mirror on over here, and it'll make the other arm do what the other arm's doing. I realize his ears are being affected by this, but I ain't worrying about it. It isn't matter to me. His damn hands are off. Shit, it's gonna be one of these damn days. You know what? I've seen people hold steering wheel with their arms out like that. Not very many people, but some people do actually hold the steering wheel at 10 and 2. Yeah, I don't want to be here all day doing this. This is gonna be good. This will be fine. All right, so now that you got him situated, you pick him. Get out of pose mode. Pick him. Um, you're gonna apply this armature, but by picking him, you go to the modifier properties and apply it. Now you can delete the armature, but you'll also need to delete all the vertex groups that were added, which are here. Had to do with the skeleton being made. You don't need all this. Anything extra you don't want, believe me, it takes up your performance. You don't want that. You want all the performance you can get. Alright, I'll get this little fella in that seat. I'll just scale him a little smaller. Now don't worry if he's in the seat some. He's not actually going to have a collision mesh that's going to be affecting anything. They got to be fine. Hell. I mean, it is kind of like a little cartoon guy. I mean, you don't want to make him too big, so what do you do, really? So, alright. So we have to set his origin now to the 3D cursor, which should be here, unless you accidentally moved it by holding right-clicking and holding shift. You could have moved it, but if you go to view over here, you can put it back at 0, 0, 0, where it needs to be. So he's set. Just to make sure, do it again. Apply all transforms. Resave. Alright. Now here's the thing that I found helps when you're making a Jbeam. Now he's only got 3 textures. That's not that big a deal. But still, what I'll do to save time is I'll export him as a DAE into one of the levels, for example, like this level. Just somewhere in the art folder. I'll make a new folder for just him. And it'll be selection only. We don't want to send the car there too, or what's left of the car. So this will just be Mario DAE, basically. And copy the textures into there. We'll load the game, and that'll make a material file. We will copy that material file and put it in the new material file, which will be the material file for the car. So let's just load this map. Now remember, this is just a DAE. This would just be like a track asset, just something that just don't move. It's just sitting there, kind of like that Sonic. It's just an object. So in the asset browser, we'll look for him. Where is he? Mario. There he is. Now that made a material file. We can go to that level now and just copy it to or load it into our Notepad++. Levels, that is Mario. See, main map material.json. So it basically made the material file for you. I'll just move this over here to other view. Now anytime you make a mod, there's certain things you need to make it. But when you're dealing with like a car, a lot of stuff's already there. So in this case, with this Wendover, I guess how you call what it's called, Wendover. We'll go to its main.material.json open it. And then at the bottom of it, the very bottom, the very last texture, we'll hit enter, and we'll make one of these brackets here with a comma. And then this was supposed to be over there. So then we'll take the material from the other one, but you don't take the last two brackets, and you don't take the first bracket. You take everything but, like that. So that the last two brackets means it ends. That's it, no more. A bracket and a comma means there's another texture. So you'll take all this, put it here, and hit save. Now your Mario textures will be made when the car renders or spawns. Oh yeah. Let's close that. Let's see. Somewhere in here is the main Jbeam for that car. So you can tell it to show you type, so you can just see the Jbeam files. It should be just Wendover something, just whatever. Wendover Jbeam. Open this up, and you'll see Wendover, and you'll see these slot types. We're gonna make a new slot because we got another thing to add. And see, what I'll do is just copy one of these here and paste it. And this will be called Mario. I'll put it here too. Mario. So what this tells the game is there's another slot. Now Mario's information don't have to be in here. We can make a new Jbeam for that, which we were going to do. We'll just save this now and close it out because we're done with that. We're actually done with this material too. Let's close that. Now on my desktop I have a blank Jbeam. This I'm going to copy into here just to make it easier to follow. I'm just going to rename it to Mario Jbeam. Just as a blank one. It's got all the essential things you need to make a mod. So this will be the name. And since this will be a slotted item, the slot type is Mario. Remember we put Mario in the other Jbeam that said, hey, there's another slot. So not only is this called Mario, but the slot type is also going to be Mario. Now the only thing missing is the nodes, beams, and triangles that's going to represent that DAE, that mesh of Mario. So for now, we'll just save this and leave it for a moment. We'll go back to Blender. We'll make a mesh cube. Remember, this will be like the center of mass for this thing. And you can control the weight and all that of it. Just for now, just focus on this. Just getting this to where you want it. Say here. Maybe here will be fine. Alright, we can hide all this other stuff. We're resaving this file. And it is saved on the desktop. Why I'm telling you that is because where you're saving your Blender file is where your Jbeams are going to be exported. So, in edit mode, hit A to select all, mesh, Jbeam, nodes connector, face, triangulate faces. I'm going to put a little this little green thing here. I'm going to put a node prefix of just a letter A. Or you know what, make it a letter M for Mario. Or you can type out Mario if you want to, but I wouldn't do that because then you're going to end up having a lot of typing to do. Just Just little letter lowercase letter M actually. Be fine. Now its origin currently is not at the 3D cursor, so that needs to be set. So back in object mode, object set origin, 3D cursor, apply all transforms, and this cube, I'll just name it Jbeam. Jbeam Mario, no matter what you name it, just so you know what it is. Export Jbeam. Oh, Blender does crash often when you export Jbeam, so it'd be good to save before you do that. So now we go to our desktop, and on the desktop is this Jbeam exported folder. We'll load that Jbeam. We're going to move this to here. Now this is the Mario that's in the Wendover folder. This is the one we just exported. There's that little letter M. I said I was going to name those nodes for Mario. So see how that goes. There. Collision. This is whether it collides with the ground. Self-collision means whether it collides with other parts of the car. I usually don't put it on there, but it's up to you. We're going to take all these nodes and drag them and drop them under here. The mesh here we haven't done yet. We'll get back to that in a second. We're going to put the beams over here where the beams go, and the triangles where the triangles go. Now back to Blender. That's the wrong Blender. Where's the other Blender? There it is. The actual Mario itself, the actual thing you're going to see, we're going to name it, not new object, we're going to name it Mario. Now we're going to export this as a DAE into the Wendover folder. We're not going to overwrite anything in here. We're making a new DAE. This will be Mario. Selection only, because we don't want to send everything over there, just him. And export. Now, see the name Mario? That's the flex body that you're going to put in the Mario Jbeam right here. Mario. If there's no flex body, there's no model. Now, it will still create the Jbeam of that box, but you won't see anything without a mesh. The group name, that's up to you. I just leave it at A. I'm pretty simple like that. The node weight, no, he's not going to weigh 52. That box ain't going to weigh 52, whatever the metric is for that. Just put 2. It needs to have less beam spring for that light, though, that light of a thing. Alright, save. Let's load the game. Load that car, and we should... the game's already loaded. I'll reload it. We should have a Mario that'll fall on the ground when that car spawns, which is what is going to happen because we ain't connected that box to anything yet. So it's just going to fall right through the car. Now, if it had self-collisions turned on, it may not fall through the car. It may sit on that box. I mean, on the seat. It may explode. You just never know. So I don't like using self-collisions because things get unstable pretty easily. Let's just go over here. Alright, see, this is where I don't understand. Which one of these is the Wendover? Oh, there it is. It don't matter which one you load. Let's load that one. Replace current. Now I don't see my little Mario. Let's see. Let's see what I forget. Yeah, I must have forgot something. No, there it is. Mario. You gotta turn him on. Now I don't know how to make that appear. But anyway, you see him, he just fell through the ground. See, that was a slot that we added. Now, if someone asked me about having multiple things, the way we did that one, I would assume you would just have another one under that one, like Mario 2 would be in the passenger seat. I'm not 100% sure. Uh, but for now, we're going to pause it. We're going to restart. Hit R. We're going to turn these beams off. I'm going to hit Control T to show you the triangles. And he should have a little box in there for him that represents there. You see a little box? We're going to hit Control N to see the node names, and I know they're hard to see. So there's M. Damn. Looks like M17. I can't damn tell. ML7. It's ML. It looks like a 1, but it's a L. And like I said, you'd see the other nodes for the car. So you'll want to connect that one to say, I don't know, what's this up here? What's kind of directly above that? Or maybe you want to connect it to the seat. P41, no, I'm sorry, it's P4L. Let's see, no. I guess we can connect this to that one up there. That is SF3. SF3L. So we'll move that here. We can pull this back up. Now this is Mario's Jbeam. This is where his beams ended. I'll just copy this and paste it. Oh, wait a minute. This means it's just a note. Mario to car. So that's SF3L. And that was ML7. If I hit save, and I go back to here, and I hit Control R to reload, I can hit Control B to see the beams. There should be a beam connecting that, but I don't see it. I might have spelled it wrong. So hard to see this damn stuff. That says SF3L. Damn L's look like ones. Maybe that is a 1. No, that's a L. SF3L. Oh, it is connected. See, he's just dangling now. Trying to turn on the beams. Oh, I see it now. See it? Put it in slow motion. See it? Connected. Alright, we'll pause it again. Let's go to the other side. So that's ML5. ML5, and let's find a thing to anchor it to. How about SF3LL? Save it. Let's see. Now ML1 which is the other corner of that box. We'll connect it to, how about P2LL. And the other top corner is ML3. And that'll connect to I guess RF1. Now if I Control R to reload, we have more things holding him. I mean, maybe that's fine for you. Maybe that's comical. I mean, it is kind of funny. Turn the triangles off. Turn these off. Turn the beams off. God damn it. Alright, so we can stabilize it more than that. Control T to see the triangles and Control N to see the nodes. Let's go down to the bottom of the box. So ML2 to well, that's pretty close. SF1L. Alright, let's go on to this side over here. That is SF1LL. No, that ain't. Wait a second. SF1L. What was that one? Shit. Yeah, SF1L. This is SF1LL. And the closest, let's see, the bottom node is ML0. Save, Control R. I guess that'll work. Alright, we can try self collisions. I think it's going to cause problems, but maybe it doesn't. Self collisions true. Oh, and I guess we would want him to hit the ground and not go through the ground if he does were to come out, but I don't think he will. This car ain't a convertible. And right now the beams that are holding him in there won't break. I guess I could make them break while I'm here. So we'll take this, copy this. This is what tells these beams how to behave, more or less. Anytime you see FLT max, that means it's not going to break. So we go to here, Mario to car. We'll paste that. Make that a little neater. It don't have to be neat, but I mean, you would want it to be, I would think. So we'll tell this to break at. We'll tell this to break at, say, I don't know, 5,000, whatever, Newton forces or whatever the hell that stands for. Save. That's Control R. Alright, let's test to see these little beams break. Let's find one of his nodes here, and yeah, he's just kind of sitting in there now. He ain't connected to anything, and you can't really get him out of a car because it's got a Jbeam basically that is like a cage. You probably wouldn't want those to break because it's going to look kind of retarded. But we'll leave it. Hell with it. I guess that's it. I mean, he should spawn in all the Wendovers now. Though it shouldn't matter which one you pick. He should be in all of them. In the damn water. Hit escape. Vehicle config. Mario. Now somebody would want to know, well, how could you make him a rag doll? Shit take a long time. Because how we did that box, you basically got to have a box for like every damn body part. And they all got to be connected. And the little parts got to be broken. So you got kind of severed legs and arms and hands, the head, the body, the torso. Basically everything has to be disconnected as if you were to cut all his limbs off in his head and torso and pelvis all off. And then they have to all be basically all these mesh basically. So like if this was like say the head here, for example, this would be the body. Then you'd have to have some for the arms. And one for the hand or lower arm, upper arm, legs. All these have to be exported as Jbeams. And it all had to be connected. It's a pain in the ass. It takes a long time. So I think that's it. I'll zip this up if anybody wants it.